the returning officer of the City of Calgary, in which case I'm responsible for the actual conduct of the election. The election itself is governed by the Local Authorities Election Act of Alberta, not by the Election Act. This one governs all local elections, so it governs school board and city council. Qualifications to be a candidate are that you have to be 18 years of age, you have to be a Canadian citizen, you have to have resided within the city for the 6 months immediately preceding nomination day, and you have to file your nomination papers with us. Your nomination papers are an official form that we make available sometime in May, which can be picked up at our office, which is up in the Northeast. It is the only location that you can get the papers from. And we provide you the papers and a booklet that outlines the entire process and information on the office, what they do, things that are involved in the campaign. And it hopefully provides most of what you need, but we're always have office staff available to answer additional questions. And they've put our office phone number up there, 221-3850. And we suggest you use that, not 268-CITY, because they won't have the staffing to deal with the election issues. So please give our office a call. The book, and that is, as I said, it would be usually available sometime in May. And we do keep a list of who's picked it up. We do keep a list that is a public list and a private list if people do not wish their name to be made public at that point in time. We do accommodate that. And the public list is open. Most people go on this public list because they're running for office and they want people to know they're running. But we do keep track of it, and we need to do that in case there are changes to the legislation that happen, and we have had that happen. We've had voting stations burned down at the last minute. We have to make sure people are aware of these issues as they happen. Nomination day is the 18th of September. You cannot file your nomination papers before that time. Unlike what you hear in the federal and provincial, the city is a 3-hour period from 9 o'clock in the morning till 12 noon. And that is the only time at which we end up finding out who the candidates are and which you can file your papers. If you're 1 minute after 12, you're too late. It cuts off right at 12. So it's very important. The individual themselves does not need to file their papers if they happen to be out of town that day. Somebody else can bring them in for them as long as they're completed properly. In completing the nomination papers, you need to be nominated by 25 electors of the ward in which you're running, if you're running for alderman or school trustee, or 25 electors of the city. And they must be electors on the date of their signing those papers. But it is the candidate, if you're running for an alderman or a trustee, you do not have to live in the ward in which you're running. But the people who nominate you must live in that ward. We ask for certain information on there, and we also ask you to print your name on there as you would like it to appear on the ballot. We do not allow things like doctor or anything that's a title is not allowed. Reverend, those kinds of things are not allowed on the ballot. But if you have a nickname that you're known by, like you're Bill, not William, and you wish to use Bill, you certainly can do those things. So you file your papers in that 3-hour period. And then there's a 24-hour withdrawal period for candidates. They have until 12 noon to withdraw. It isn't a common occurrence, but there are sometimes it occurs. Something may come up, or we've had people realize that they didn't have signatories on their papers, weren't within the ward, so they withdrew. They had forgotten that piece. We've had others withdraw because there was too many people running, and they felt that they wanted other people to have a chance more than themselves. So there's a variety of reasons, but there is a 24-hour period. After that 24 hours, you cannot withdraw. Your name is on the ballot. So if people try to withdraw after that, but we cannot do anything about it, the name is still on the ballot. We do all the official advertising from our office, which is the brochure that we deliver to every household around town that tells them where they vote and who the candidates are, and anything of the different alternative methods of voting, such as incapacitated in their home, which nursing homes and things we go to, the active treatment hospitals, when the advanced vote is, and the qualifications and these different kinds of things. We also will post this information on our website, which we, ahead of time, we actually have some information on there already on candidate, what your qualifications are to run. So you can find that under the Calgary's website, which is www.calgary.ca, and you can go into City Hall and into the City Clerk's site, and under legislative services, you'll find our information on elections. We post the address and the names and addresses of the candidates on that site. And one of the things we provide in the package we give you on nomination day is a form that allows you, if you have a campaign office, to provide that information to us, so that's what we post. Otherwise, we post your home address, which is on your papers, because it is a public document. The results are normally out that night, but the time for the decision on recounts is made on the next day. If there's any recounts, those are all done by Friday noon, and the official results are not until Friday noon after the election. We can tell you who it probably is before that, but it's not official until Friday. We do have 3 new things that we're doing this year. One that we've been requesting since 1992 at the city, and that's the ability to use mail-in voting for people who are unable to attend a voting station on election day. So this is students, which is one of the problems. Students are, if they come back, they're going to university in Edmonton or Toronto or wherever, and they come back in the summer to reside with their family, they're deemed to be resident here. And they have the right to vote, but we have no method for them to vote. We also in Calgary have a lot of people who work in the oil fields for weeks at a time, and their home, their family, everything is here. There's been no way they can vote in the past. Or people are even out of the country, or they're away for a 3-month course, all these different kinds of things. It's also can be used by people who are incapacitated in their home, who don't want the individual service of people coming right to their door and giving them the vote. They want a little more privacy or whatever. So we have that being allowed because the legislation changed, and we can now do that. Another thing that we piloted in the last election in one voting station to see how it worked is templates for blind voters, so that they can mark their own ballot in secret, and that will be available, but only at the advanced vote locations. It's just way too costly to put it in everywhere, but it will be available for the advanced vote. And thanks to I'll even give him credit to Joe at the end. He made a suggestion in one committee meeting that we're going to try. And that is, we're going to have advanced vote locations at one day at each of SAIT, Mount Royal, and the university to try and get more students out to vote, because they are really involved in their exams sometimes, or whatever courses, and they just don't do it. So hopefully we can get, maybe if we go there, maybe set up for a day, but because they don't go to school on the weekends, we're just doing one day in each location to give it a try. So we'll be doing that as well this year.